Have you been given correction, but you have decided to ignore it? Have you been given instruction on how to do things, but you have decided to do your own thing and go your own way? This will cost you a lot, especially if it's a correction that God has given to you. It will cost you. But God wants you not to go through that pain. Listen to what Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 23 says. It says, "For the commandment is a lamp, and the teaching is light, and reproofs for discipline are the way of life." Did you hear that? To be reproved, to be corrected is the way of life. It's the way to live. Thinking that you know it all, thinking that the knowledge that you have is the very best and you just want to stick to that, not taking a heed or listening to correction, this can cost you a whole lot in future. Proverbs chapter 1 verse 22 to verse 23 says, "Fools, how long will you love being ignorant? How long will you make fun of wisdom? How long will you hate knowledge? I wanted to tell you everything I knew and give you all the knowledge, but you did not listen to my advice and teaching. I tried to help you, but you refused to listen. I offered you my hand, but you turned away from me. You ignored my advice and refused to be corrected. So I will laugh at your troubles and make fun of you when what you fear happens. Disaster will strike you like a storm. Problems will pound you like a strong wind. Trouble and misery will weigh down on you. Fools will call for me, but I will not answer. They will look for me, but will not find me. That is because they hated knowledge. They refused to fear and respect the Lord. They ignored my advice and refused to be corrected. They filled their lives with what they wanted. They went their own way, so they will get what they would deserve. Fools die because they refuse to follow wisdom. They are content to follow their foolish ways, and that will destroy them. But those who listen to me will live in safety and comfort. They will have nothing to fear. Listen to that. It's talking about foolishness and how people decide to ignore wisdom, to ignore correction, and then troubles begin to come down the road and there is absolutely nothing they can do about it. When you ignore correction, when you ignore instruction, you are welcoming trouble. But God wants you to avoid this. And this is why He brings correction, especially today. One time, we had just bought a car. It was an old car. And I had noticed while driving this car that it was skidding. It was, winter time, winter period, snow on the road, snow everywhere. I noticed that while driving this car, it was skidding. I would make a turn to the left or turn to the right, and it would not just, turn normally. It would skid either to the left or to the right side. This really cost me and my family a lot, but Jesus came to save us. These things were happening, few skids here and there with this car, but I did not heed this correction, nor did I consider this. And so one time we needed to move from our current accommodation to a new accommodation. And it had just snowed outside, more or less a storm. So it was like, I don't know, maybe 20 centimeters of snow in the road. And I put my family in this car for us to move from that previous accommodation to the new one. That was such a very risky move. Because while driving, we had an accident that could have easily been prevented if I had considered the signs that the car was showing me. Because the car had previously skidded, but at this time, I completely lost control of the car. We were fishtailing after driving on the road, going under a bridge. And coming out of the bridge, I lost control of the car. The car was not going in the direction that I was steering it to go. And I began to overcorrect, undercorrect, whatever the case might be, simply because I lost control of the car. And we were about to hit the right side of the road, and what was there was just, the fence of the bridge. And if the car would go past that, we would land in water, a river. I mean, think about that. But praise to the Lord that the Lord helped us to correct and go back into the middle of the road. And yes, we did hit the car. I mean, the car was really damaged. We did hit the car. But guess what? All of us were saved. None of us was injured. Not even a scratch. But all that could have been easily avoided if I had taken the correction. If I had considered the warning signs. And today, Jesus wants you to consider the warning signs. Jesus wants you to consider taking correction. Don't ignore it, because it will cost you. But God wants to save you from this future pain. Why not listen to wisdom? It will benefit you. God bless you. If you think that you have ignored wisdom, if you think you had ignored correction, and you would like to listen again to correction, and you would like to have an open heart when someone speaks wisdom to you and when God gives you correction, you can type in a comment there below, and we'll be praying for you. We'll be praying that your heart becomes open to listening to the corrections of Jesus Christ. God bless you.